5-element theory? Yes, so this is founded on Chinese medicine 5-element theory. And this is Barbara McAfee's work. This is one of my teachers, her work, and I've just taken it and run with it. And I absolutely love this. It makes it really accessible because I can get really sciencey and weird about the voice, but this is practical today, something you can take with you both in this class and when you go home tonight to have more influence around the people around you. So we have earth voice. Earth is authority. Earth is boundaries. Earth is grounded. Earth is what I'm going to use when I say no. Earth is what I'm going to use when I'm speaking to men in business. Earth is what I am going to use if I am nervous and want to feel really planted. The shadow of earth is mud. Like I talked at the beginning of class, like I worked with a veteran who talked like this and I couldn't understand most of what he said because there's so much earth. That's mud. And the female version of mud is this air fry. It sounds kind of lazy and like it makes you like sink down in your seat a bit more. And then we have air. Air is approachable. Air is lighthearted, but air is childlike. Air is also like a 1950s receptionist. So airheads or people with air voice are more likely to have people speak over them. They're more likely to have people speak over them, and that is the shadow side, that they sound unintelligent. So I was working with this HR director of a law firm, and her managing partners do not listen to her. They don't. Any idea she has or anytime she needs to talk with them, they just completely talk over her. And so what we did is we took her voice and we lowered it by literally 1 note, and we have her speak here with just a little bit more authority. It's not much of a difference, because if I brought her all the way down here, it would probably be really weird. Right? So we adjusted her note just a little bit, and I said, go try it. Go see if it begins to have more attention, you get more attention from them. At the very least, you'll be more confident in it. She tried it, and she was like, okay, I'm definitely more confident. I'm definitely getting some more things done. I don't know if it's them listening to me or I just have more guts to do it. But something in her was instigated. And then we have water. Water is what you're going to use if you have a lot of empathy or if you're a meditation teacher and it's very flowing. The problem is that it's boring and very tired and sleepy, and people will fall asleep. People who are monotone typically have more water in their voice, and they're right here in this one place. So often people will say to me, I don't believe in monotone. I just want to put this theory out there. I don't believe in monotone. It's very rare that someone is exactly 1 note. It's more that they're mono-melody. They're doing the same thing over and over again, so it's incredibly flowing. And it's the same thing, and we just get bored of it because we need various melodies in order to be excited and have attention. And then we have fire, and fire is action and confidence and motivation, and I have so much fire in my voice that I know that I need more grounding because I just bring so much fire. Fire, the shadow of it is anger. When people say, you sound angry. I'm not angry. I don't understand why people think that I sound angry. Well, it's because you just have a lot of fire in your voice and you have a lot of consonants. My boyfriend's from New York, and my parents are from New York. My boyfriend's from New York. I lived in New York for a long time. And the thing about New Yorkers is they always sound angry. They're always yelling and doing this and doing that. They're so angry, blah, 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 blah. And I always say to him, you sound angry. And he's like, I'm not angry. And I'm like, then tell your consonants that. Your consonants will show anger. Consonants, water, Vowels are where we show empathy. Vowels are where we show emotion. And this is music. This is in music as well. This is one of the many things I learned in musical theater school. Vowels are where we transfer emotion. Consonants are where we show clarity and definition and anger often. So if you ever hear from people you sound angry, I invite you to soften your consonants and just practice doing that. I teach people that don't have a lot of empathy, and if they need to show more empathy, to just elongate your vowels and notice if you're received better, and received is more empathetic. And then finally we have metal. Metal is clear, metal is direct, metal is projection. The shadow it's very annoying. Right? It is shrill, and it shows up in mountainous towns and shows up in very loud places like New York because our voices need to cut through in those places. And when we send our sound through the nose the sound travels further and faster and more direct. Because your voice and sound is a wave. Your voice is a wave. Are any science nerds, any physics nerds in here? Anybody? No, I had a physicist in here, and for a while I was teaching this class, and I was teaching this theory that I had, because this has been my playground. This is why it's called playground. This class at Capital Factory has been where I figure all the things out, because this is free, and then I go charge other people for it. But this is where I figured out and see, okay, what do people like? What works? What doesn't? And I started to put together these pieces of physics and quantum acoustics in our voice, and how sound travels, and emotion and psychology and all this stuff. And I was like, sound is matter. And he was like, no, it's not matter, it's energy. Those are not the same thing. And we sat down and had coffee, and he explained it to me, and then he hired me. So it was, it worked out. It worked out. So sound is energy. It is energy. Energy is neither created nor destroyed. Energy affects the person in front of you. So when I speak, I am affecting the cells in front of you. You all felt that. You felt the vibrations in your body when you hummed, right? So how can we direct this energy? And when we use the metal, we're just directing the energy in a very specific way, which we're all going to try. Any questions on this theory, on these 5 elements before we all try it together? No? Yeah. Great question. Great question. This theory can be used to describe how your voice is, and you'll have a combination of 2, typically. But it's more that I invite you to use it rather than diagnosing what your voice is to use it to try out various tones and to implement them in different situations. Because I might have a lot of fire, but I'll have less fire than my friend Lola here. Right? My girl is all fire, which I love. Is it okay that I call you out for all your fire? Your fire is amazing. And it's true, where the fire will be different, right? I'll have more earth in comparison versus I'll have a lot of earth in comparison to one friend, but my friend who stands here like a stone is going to be the earthiest of us all. So it is varying per person, and it's a spectrum. So it's about using all of them, or some of them, to try out different things, but knowing what your main one is. So do you have an idea? Okay, the other part of that is, and this is part of how I discovered that I had this knack for being a voice coach, and I heard people's voices differently. When people talk, I just mimic them in my head. That's what's happening all the time in my life. That's what happens at parties. It's my hypervigilance. It's how I read people's minds. It's just what happens. I can't help it. It's the thing that you do in your head, right? We all have the thing. Some people are looking at colors. I'm hearing people's voices and going, where do they shape that in their mouth? What is that? What's their tongue doing? Is their throat stuck? How are they breathing? That is what I do. Part of being a theater kid is they have you follow people around and mimic them. Truly, that was homework a lot. So, then you start doing that all the time, because that's how you get into a character. You find a character, find a person, find them interesting. So part of what I do voice audits with people, we'll talk about where you're speaking in your mouth and where the sound is resonating, because it can resonate anywhere. Your voice can resonate in your chest, it can resonate in your head, it can resonate in your nose and your tongue. And learning that will just give you more options. Different languages resonate in different places. Asian languages are all tonal and lack diction. So there's not a lot that's up front here. It's more nasal. So I tell Asian people, stay away from metal. You don't need any metal, because that's just going to put you further in your nose. And we don't want that. We want more diction. So it's a little roundabout answer to your question. Okay, I'm going to have everybody stand up. Before we go anywhere, please raise your right hand and say, I solemnly swear that I, insert name here, I knew one of you would, will use this for good and to influence, not manipulate, or so help me. Thank you. Okay. Yes, I had a gentleman say to me, well, this is all manipulation, isn't it? And I was like, get out of my class. Get out of my class. Really, because it could be. Manipulation and influence are two sides of the same coin. So I just ask that everything I'm teaching you, please use it for good. Please use it to make this world a better place. That's what my job is here, is I'm here to make this world a better place and ask you to also. Okay, cool. Let's all come on stage. Let's just do it this way. We're gonna make a big circle on stage since there's not many people here. Last class we had like 30 people here, so I couldn't bring everybody on stage at the same time. Please ask a question. Oh, cool.
To be here, but what is the end time?
I don't know. Oh, end time 8:30. Well, actually, I need to kick you out of this room at 8:30. So that's fine. That's fine. We're just gonna play with our voices right now, and I'm only using this microphone because for the live stream I have to. Bless you. Otherwise they can't hear me. Otherwise I really would not use the microphone since there's so few people. I'm gonna actually put the microphone down now. Cool. We're all here. Notice your feet underneath you. Notice the stage. Say hello to the stage. Hello, stage. Awesome. Mother Earth has you. So when you get nervous, just know, oh, gravity will take care of you. I'm not going to. Okay? We're going to get a little weird. If you're uncomfortable, that's okay. Close your eyes. Shake it out. We'll all be there together. All right? So just repeat after me a little bit. Whoa. 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 Wee. Wee. Woo. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Yeah. Yeah. Find a point in front of you, behind me too, and speak to that exact point. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, notice the difference when you decide where the energy of your voice, where the vibration of your voice is going, rather than just like willy-nilly. Decide and it goes there, and it's a lot easier and more efficient to do it. That's how you project without yelling. People ask me that all the time. How do you project without yelling? Pick a point you're talking to. Hello. Hello. Woo. Woo. Hello. Hello. I am Julie Child. Julie Child. Oh, there's actually people here at an age group this week that get that. That's like sometimes people are like, who's Julie Child? And I was like, oh my God, I'm older now. Okay. Hello. 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 What a bass. That's awesome. I love it. I just felt that in my feet. That was cool. Notice where you feel your voice in your body and where you feel other people's voice in your body. Lower tones resonate in our bodies. We don't actually hear lower tones. We feel them in our bones. Higher tones resonate and go through our eardrums. That's why like it hurts our ears, and low notes like a bass drum will be like boom, boom. We just want to move our bodies because we don't actually. There's a certain frequency. I did memorize it last week, and clearly it's not there anymore. I was like, what is the exact frequency? But anyway, ChatGPT. I'm just gonna have to add this into this. Hello. 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 Hey. Hey. Here I am. Here I am. Good morning. 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 Well, which was the most uncomfortable for you?
The last one.
The metal. Absolutely. Absolutely. What about for you? Yeah, the last one. The metal was the most uncomfortable? Okay, cool. Which was the most comfortable?
I guess the self over down.
The earth one?
Yeah.
The earth? Okay, cool. Let's do the earth a few more times. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Bibbidi bobbidi boo.
Bibbidi bobbidi boo.
Hello.
Hello.
Bibbidi bobbidi boo. Bibbidi bobbidi boo. You all access your head voice. You all just sang about 3.5 octaves. So you tell me you can't sing or you have no range, lies. Because you all just did it. You all just did it, which is really cool. Which tells me that tone deaf doesn't really exist. Because you were matching my tone.
Yeah. I have a video that'll show you.
It's a different thing. It's a different thing. You're just not tuned in.
Yeah.
That's all good. But that's why you're here and that's why you're doing this. And that's why I've been put on this planet. Truly.
Okay.
You call me I started calling myself the human tuning fork, and I was like, is that too much? Like, is that too much? It's a little.
Everything's too much for this.
But it's true. What happens is I start to speak and sing, and other people start to match me, and then you'll begin to notice that what's happening. So that's why I have a YouTube channel and all these things. You can take me with you. All right. Any other questions? What else felt good? What didn't? Did you do this last time? Probably, right? I've been doing this for at least a year. What did you notice this time versus before?
I feel more comfortable with the grounding ones.
Yeah.
Like I noticed I didn't want to do like the higher pitched
Oh,
thing.
okay.
I was more resistant to it.
Cool. We're going to do it again, and we're just making noises. This time, notice where the vibrations are living in your body. When we go to the higher notes, notice, are they up here? This is called your head voice. They literally resonate in your head. Or the lower notes, where they resonate in your body. If the metal, where it resonates in the front of you. When I say resonate, I mean vibration. Where the vibration is literally bouncing, where the wavelength is in your body. Okay? Is that clear what I mean by that?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Is
Pretty.
it clear? Is it clear? You look very familiar. Have we met before? Are you like secretly famous?
I usually say something really crass, but someone asked me.
That's okay.
I'm not.
Oh, okay. That's what they all say, though. That's what they all say. Okay. When people ask me if I'm famous, I'm like, not yet. Working on it. No,
Famous overrated.
famous overrated. That's what my boyfriend said. But
That's true.
I disagree. If you use it for good, this is another conversation for another podcast. Okay. Anyway. Use it for good. All right. Woo! Woo! Well done. Whoa.
Whoa.
Good. Good. Did you all feel that? You felt that, right? Did you feel it? Did you
Yeah.
notice what happened?
Resonance?
Yeah, yeah. Cool. Yeah, the resonance, and it was like there was like a direct channel of vibration between us. And that's what happens when you are in tune with your audience. That is what happens. There is a science behind it. Somebody told me this week they have a brain doctor to introduce me to, and I'm very excited for it. What did you all notice? What else did you notice? Did anyone notice where you felt it, or you're like, I don't know, I'm just disassociating completely?
I feel like I noticed we started to like be more comfortable.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, the more you do it, the less weird it feels.
I think I noticed where it was vibrating, but I don't know what I was doing to when I noticed it was vibrating.
That's okay, get your mind out of the way. That's okay, let's get your mind out of it right now. Our mind's gonna try to like figure it out and justify it. Right now, we're just here to play.
Yeah.
Right? I play.
I
play. Now we're gonna do the siren. And now this is where my music man is called the siren. This is the #1 exercise you could do. It goes like this. Woo! Ooh. You've heard it, I'm sure. At this
Just
point.
now, yeah.
Oh, you know.
I'm like, what?
Yes, and so what this does is we are activating the full range of your voice, the full range of your vocal cords, the full expression of the muscle, the physiology of the muscle, as well as if we get into the frequency side of it, all frequencies for all parts of your body and all chakras, which is the woo-woo side of this. All right, so let's try it. At first you might crack, just let it crack, that's okay. Ooh. Sorry, I was demonstrating once more. I did not tell you that. So we're gonna go slow, and if you wanna use your arm, I'm not lifting my arm because I'm sweating, and I probably have the worst sweat stain. That's why I keep going like this. And now I know not to wear this shirt for this event. All right. Come all the way back down. Yeah. The trick is to come all the way back down. We're gonna do one more time, and then you might be a little lightheaded, okay? Cool. Yeah, weird, right? What'd you notice? If anything.
It kind of makes your head a little tingly.
It does make your head a little tingly. It does. You're sending vibrations to places that you haven't felt, especially if you have a low voice. Chances are you're not speaking in this higher voice very often. Chances are you're not using the full range of your expression very often, right? Because you're a man, right? You're a man who works with his hands. You're a handyman.
I literally like went like this to
Yeah.
try and like breathe. It was
Yeah.
like, woo.
If you try to reach up, I invite you to squat, to actually go in the other direction. Yeah, a lot of singing using our voice is opposites. So squat. You'll hear that in my audio, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
It felt like the coming down, there was like this gap,
Mm-hmm.
like, before I could.
Cool. We're gonna do them one more time, and this time I'm gonna, and we're actually not, we're gonna go from just up to down and move really slowly through. It's harder with a bunch of people. When you do it on your own, it's easier to explore. What's happening is your vocal folds, which slap together to make sound, they're like vibrating in ways that they don't usually do, and they're kind of like twitching. So this is the massage that helps them activate in parts that they're just not used to using. Yeah, it's just, they're just not used to it. So I invite you to move slowly through this, and this is what you can do this in your car to warm up or something, or play and sing. It's lots of fun with kids too. There's another point that I can't remember. I'm using a lot tonight. I'm exhausted, but we're here, we're doing it. So let's go from up to down this time and move really slow and really feel. Feel as if you can feel your vocal cords shifting and put your awareness there. See what happens. Might work, might not. Ready? We're gonna start from up to down. How was that?
I thought you were just demonstrating.
One more time? Want to do one more time? What do you guys notice? Anybody notice a difference in their voice? Did you find new parts of your voice?
Well, mine is kind of like hers. It has like you're going low and all of a sudden it like stops and shifts all the way down.
It's called the passaggio. There's a word for it.
Oh, okay.
It's called the passageway, the break. And it's where your voice goes from resonating up here to resonating down here. And we get to strengthen it here. If you decide to check out my audio course, which I have a QR code at the end, I walk you through how to clean that up in 3 weeks. That's the main goal. How to have one clear voice all the way down. And I discovered this by listening to gospel singers. I was like, why are their voices so perfect? What is it about them? And I put that together with my musical theater training, which was an opera, it's called speech level singing, bel canto candelto. And basically, anything you can speak, you can sing. And so we take this head voice, this opera voice, and we bring it all the way down here. And if we strengthen the opera voice down here, we are strengthening the vocal folds in the speaking range, and we can eventually create this more life speaking voice that will bridge all of those voices together to create one voice. And with gospel singers, I said, what is it about them? Okay, they have that head voice down approach. Oh, this head voice, is the head voice closer to God? Is that what it is? And so I started to put together all of the dots of the spirituality and our voice and how those all fit together with frequency and energy, et cetera, et cetera. So these are some of my methodologies and things that keep me up at night.
I don't understand it anymore. I can sing so good and so high.
She's my biggest husky.
Yeah. Changed my life.
I love that. And the opera voice really does. So we're also going to play with that a little bit. Actually, let's do it right now. Hello! Hello! I'm an opera singer!
I'm an opera singer.
Put your body into it. I'm an opera singer!
I'm an opera singer.
Whoa. That's awesome. It's so interesting doing this in a small group. It's great. I started with like 8 people, but I've had really large groups lately, so what a blessing, right? But it's great to be able to hear each and every one of your voices. Did that make anyone uncomfortable? Did it make either of you uncomfortable? Just a little bit? That's okay. That's okay. I told you, as long as you play, that's the invitation, right? Let's do siren one more time now that we've done that. Ready? Top to down. Everyone. Cool. What'd you notice? Really? That opera voice. Oh, no, it works. I love when it works. It's very exciting. We had one class. It was a huge class. It was so exciting. It was so much fun. And this guy was here, who was like 6'3". He was in a suit. He was very stiff, clearly like the straight A student, perfect child, had never found his head voice before. And we did that a few times. At first he was like, I don't get it. And then he did it and just saw a tear show up in his eye. And he was like, whoa, I didn't know I could do that. And I said, what else can you do that you don't know that you're capable of? And the room went silent. And everyone felt that. When we unlock our voice, we unlock parts of ourselves that we have no idea exist at this point. They've been shut down for one reason or another. 1, we need to sound like society. 2, we need to sound like the people on the radio. 3, we need to be the perfect child or the black sheep or whatever archetype you had in your family. But it definitely plays a role in our voice, right? Mine was I needed to be the perfect child. I was the star to be. So I had to be perfect. I had to practice. I had to do all these things. And so singing was very much not fun. And that's why I left the musical theater world. And now it's, my life's work to the normies, if you will. Not that you're normies. We're in Austin. No one's really normal here, right? So I love it. Cool. We're going to now put this into practice. Now we work with our voice. Now we found a full range. Now I have this air voice that I can use to share vision. Now I have this earth voice that I can use to ground. So we're going to put this into practice with a little bit of storytelling. We're not going to break up into groups because there's not that many of us. But this is the Pixar's story spine exercise. If anybody wants to take a sip of water, you can, and come back up here. It's up to you. I'm going to start using the microphone again for our friends back home. Not that anyone's watching, but in case you are. The Pixar's story spine exercise. This is called Once Upon a Because. So we're all going to use this to tell a story together. And it's really simple. One person's going to start. We'll have a theme. It'll be once upon a time, blah, 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 blah. And every day, blah, 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 blah. Until one day, blah, 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 blah. Because of that, blah, 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 blah. Because of that, blah, 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 blah. Because of that, blah, 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 blah. And until finally, blah, 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 stick the landing. So somebody gets to stick the landing for us. And this is a really strong way of telling stories. If you write your own copy, if you write any marketing, this is a great way to tell stories. If you're telling stories in presentations, you can do this in 30 seconds, right? I actually didn't start today's class with a story I wanted to practice. And I practiced it last night as I was lying in bed. And that's why you got to practice it out loud. Don't rehearse lying in bed. Don't rehearse small, rehearse big. And it was in order to demonstrate this. In March of 2022, I drove into Austin, Texas with my Honda Element absolutely falling apart and $500 in my bank account. The bumper was hanging off the edge of the car. The wheel was basically flat, but I was so excited to land in Austin, Texas. And I came here for a coaching summit with these, what I call macro bros, like buff gym dudes who are like count their macros and want to, talk biohacking and do all that stuff, talk in this mud voice. And I was one of the salespeople for the program, for that event. So I got to this event and it was so exciting because everyone there was so connected and so wonderful. And they spent 3 days connecting with their inner child and working on their business and working on their inner self to express their outer self. And I was like, these are my kind of people. Very excited to be here. So that first day, everyone had a workshop where they learned how to play. They learned how to play and run around and climb trees and sing and skip and dance and find that part of themselves that they've lost for so many years. And that first night, we had a dance party with a DJ. Now, that DJ is one of my dear friends. I met her at a wedding and we sang and sang and sang. She also plays the piano, and it was the first time in years that I had started to sing in front of people again. So this DJ was like an initiator for me to get up and sing on stage in front of people. So she's DJing and she's got these like tribal beats happening and she's like, Sammy, my singer, come up on stage. And I was like, oh, nobody's gonna like that. I will like it. It's my stage. And so I got up and sang. And I started to sing these like hoo, hoo, hoos, and just all these oohs and ahs over her tribal songs. And I was like, wow, this is awesome. They're really loving it. And all these guys are dancing. And I'm telling you, they're like giant macro bros. Like, picture it. They're like veiny and weird, and you're like kind of intimidated, but we're there anyway. And they're just like feeling themselves and loving it, loving the music, and they're probably stoned. And it was awesome. And finally I was like, whew, that was great. And I jump off the stage and I start dancing with them. I start dancing with my friend. I see my friend across the room, and he's super tall and I'm kind of tall, and we're looking over each other and we're like, yeah, what's up, man? And we start dancing back and forth. And then finally I toss him this ball and he catches it. This invisible ball that kind of came out of nowhere. I tossed it to him and he caught it. And then he threw it back to me. And then my friend went, over here, over here, over here. And I threw it to him. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, everybody on that dance floor started to play an invisible game of catch from a ball of energy that came from me. and my energy and my voice and everything that I had overcome to get there with $500 in my bank account and a broken car. And when I tell this story in front of people, and when I tell this story on stages afterwards, I see people taking pictures holding the ball of energy. And this is the power of your voice. This is the power of your voice to create change for the people in front of you, to influence and connect with the people in front of you. So use it wisely. Thank you. That's how I was going to open today's class, and I forgot. So once upon a time, it's not really every day, but it's like because of that, because of that, because of that. So you can see where things stack. So it's not, you won't necessarily always use it exactly that way, but you can use it to, it shows how to build a story until finally this happened, stick the landing, be done. Cool. We're going to play this game, all right? And then we're going to play it like 1 or 2 times, and then we're going to get into individuals getting up and telling a story. So if you want to stay till that, you said you have to leave at 8? Okay, that's fine. We won't do this too many times. We'll end early today. Cool. So somebody pick a theme. What's our theme? You get to pick our theme, my friend. Tech. Okay. That's fun. Once upon a time, there was a computer named Copy.
Because of that.
And every day.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I can't read from
I
here.
know. I knew that too.
And every day that computer kept missing keys. And because of that.
Until one day.
Oh, until one day.
That's fine. You're good.
When you say missing keys, you mean it was like not.
And take your own interpretation.
Okay.
Take your own interpretation. Until one day.
Until one day, little flowers started growing out of all those missing keyholes.
Because of that.
Because of that, and lots of experience, I landed a cybersecurity job at Porno.
Because of that.
Because of that, my life completely changed. And
Because of that.
and because of that, I decided to get a new job.
Because of that, this new job was incredible and amazing, and I actually made so much more money than the porn plays
Until finally, I had such a good time, and I knew so many great people, and those plants had bloomed into flowers that I could get to everybody.
Was that the joke you had earlier? You just needed to land it now?
No, people go to be famous, I usually say something like, watch a lot of porn.
It's actually hysterical. I'm like saving that in my pocket. Thank you for
Well, you should say something like, what happens in the Vegas nerve stays in the Vegas.
Oh! That felt weird. Not because of you, just the Vegas serve. Anyway, that's a good joke. It's a good joke. We're gonna have another joke, not porn related. Not another joke. We're gonna have another topic, not porn related. It could get there. I don't care. Do you ever think? It was. You made it work. You brought it in. I'm no prude. It's fine. What's our next theme?
The weather.
The tech and the weather. Okay. Do you see how the story goes? Do you all get it? Are there any questions on this? Okay. You don't get it. You don't get it, or you don't understand why we're doing it?
Yes.
Okay. Got it. We're just gonna do it again. We'll see what happens. So you're gonna start us this time with Once Upon a Time, okay? And it's about the weather.
Once upon a time, I landed in Texas, and it was beautiful weather till it started to rain.
And the rain came down and down and down, and it got so cold that it finally froze, and all of the, oh, damn it, and every day the rain came down and down and down, and it all froze until everything was frozen, and the trees started falling. Until one day.
Until one day the sun came out and all the trees thawed out.
Because of that.
And because of that, there came a big lake where there used to be a city, and we all started paddling around in boats.
Yes, because of that.
And because of that, people would take their big power boats and spend 5 seconds at full speed to get to the other side of the lake.
Oh, because of that.
Because of that, we made it to the other side quicker than we ever did.
And because of that, on the other side, there was this big circus and festival every single night, and there were so many fun activities to do.
And because of that, we made it,
Until finally.
Until finally we made a massive music video on the other side, and it went viral, and then we all got all this money from it. It was just the best day ever.
Yay! Okay, so what is this teaching us? Yes, and how to build together, how to have teamwork, rather than like, that's why I had you just make your own interpretation, right? Keep going, keep building with the team. It also teaches us how to tell a story even when we're in the middle of it and don't necessarily know. How to think on our feet. You all were in more of a flow state with it this time, right? And then overall, this teaches us, I invite you, if any of you write marketing or write any copy, to use this in your copy and see what happens. If you could shorten it and condense it, ask ChatGPT, please rewrite for brevity. You could do it that way if you want. Hey, look, when you do a million things in your business, ChatGPT is really, really nice. You can go, I understand this, the 17-year-old bonus daughter I have gave me a whole speech about the evils of AI this week, and I get it. The hippie inside me is dying, and the entrepreneur in me is sleeping.
Just a million.
For marketing copy? You can tell. It's like, well, yeah. Well, you check out my sales page, and you're like, I mean, I wrote it, I write it, it's all mine. Anyway, we can debate this another time. Another debate for a podcast, right? All right, one more. We're gonna do this one more time.
You pick the theme.
I'm gonna pick the theme, Cowboys. All right, you're starting.
Once upon a time, in one of the Midwestern states, there was a cowboy in an old western town.
And every day.
And every day I've learned more about the cowboys riding on the horses.
Wow. Until one day, everything I learned came true, and I started to film these cowboys in a documentary. Because of that.
And because of that, my documentary got very popular and people started watching it, so I started making more films.
And because of that, Meetup are right now surveying the room to see if you guys are worthy of being filmed.
Because of that, all of the snow wants to sit on the conspiracy with cowboys.
Because of that, everyone hated cowboys and they got rid of their cowboy hats.
Until finally there were no more cowboy hats, no more lassos, no more boots, no more bedazzles, and no more cowboys because they all were intimidating.
Oh, wow. Round of applause, everyone. Thank you for your creativity. Okay, cool. Next up, you're each going to get stage time. You're each going to get individual stage time. So we're going to practice coming on stage one at a time, grounding yourself, giving yourself that tune-in, that moment before you step on to prep yourself, and you're going to have 1 minute to tell us about your breakfast. Your breakfast. I've tried changing it. You probably did this. I've tried changing it up. It's too good. It's never better than breakfast. Yeah, whatever it is. It's like I've
No,
heard
place
just
an order at the drive.
the place that you ordered at the truck.
No, I placed an order.
Yes, great. Well, we'll hear about it. I'm so excited. I'm thrilled. So here's a few options for you. I invite you to have one goal. One goal so that you get on this stage and go, I did it. I succeeded. Because if you don't have a goal, here's what you're going to do. You're going to be like, blah, 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 blah. You're like, oh, this was terrible, and that was terrible, and this was terrible. And I'm going to go, wow, this was great, and that was great. And you can't see that because you're focused on something else. But if your goal is, I'm going to get on stage and have my feet planted, and you have your first.
Oh, thank you.
One more thing about this microphone. So here's the thing about a microphone, my friends, is that if you move your face, the microphone doesn't move with you. So please, if you're going to move your face, move the microphone with your face. If as soon as you start to go like this, we can't hear you anymore, please move the microphone with your face. I'm going to actually, you have the microphone, but you're going to walk on.
Okay, good.
And remember, stick the landing. I'm a big fan of ending with thank you and walking off. If you're pitching, if you're doing a presentation, if you're doing anything, a thank you, if that's the last thing they remember, that looks really good. It's a vibration that feels good in your audience's body, and I invite you to just try it for today's class.
Are you gonna coach me through the centering practice?
Nope, you're gonna do it yourself. Yeah.
Okay, what is the tone?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can also have your own tune in, but it's just a moment of
Okay.
and then stepping on stage.
Hello, Capital Factory. I'm Ryan Glassmoyer, and I'm here to tell you about my breakfast. So I arrived in Austin last week, exactly, or not even. I left Santa Fe, New Mexico on Monday last week, where I've been living. I arrived at my brand new house on Lake Travis, which I'm calling the Tree House. So this is our scene. This is where I woke up this morning. Breakfast was an afterthought. I'm here to advance my business, and I woke up, chatted with my new roommates, a routine that I hadn't been expecting. We shared coffee, and I went back to my room and got to work. The synchronicity of arriving here and talking about our voice is that I've been understanding more what I really have to give people is based on my arts background. And so I'm working on my newest workshop, which is called The Founder's Hero Journey, which helps founders identify their story, the twists and the turns, and why that makes them very capable to succeed in what they're doing. So as I typed away, getting that ready and feeling very involved, I suddenly realized I was hungry. So I got up and I walked to the kitchen and I ate a sweet potato back at my desk in my room. I actually later on, just past that breakfast, had a meeting with a woman who was a voice teacher and a professional speaking coach that had been referred to me by somebody else. And then I came here this evening to, I thought, go to a meetup about people who like vinyl records. And I met a speech by a person who does the same thing. So I find that all to mean that if you eat sweet potatoes, you are in alignment. Thank you.
What was your goal for yourself?
To talk about my new workshop.
Okay, cool. Can you play for just 1 second? Yeah. Okay, cool. I'd love for you to play again in one of the other voices. So, actually, I'm just going to yell things at you. So
Okay.
Start talking.
Hello, Capital Factory. My name is Ryan Glassmoyer, and I'm here today to talk to you about my breakfast. Breakfast is so important. I'm really glad it exists. And breakfast gives you the fuel that you need to hit your targets and ace your goals. And breakfast is always there, day after day, no matter what.
Voice, what felt?
I think that I am most comfortable in water. I actually do a lot of guided meditation in my work, so that's funny. But.
I felt that, which is why I had you move around with it a little bit. So I invite you to find new melodies in your voice, and those melodies so that, because I find a lot of meditation teachers get stuck in the water voice when they get on stage, and your meditation voice is wonderful, and it's not necessary for everything you do. Yeah, so the beautiful, I mean, you were so funny, you're so charming. That was great. Welcome to Austin. Yeah, absolutely. All right, who's next? No, this is not my card. This is the parking. Here, I'll put this up. So you can, if you, so the one on the left is my link tree, so you can get all this stuff. Cool. I don't know if you take a picture if it works. I have to go to that, yeah. But my website is voiceexperts.com. Who wants to go next? You're going next. Enjoy. Remember, you have 1 minute. Let's try to keep it to 1 minute so we can end on time. I'll give you a 5-second warning.
Hello. I just want to celebrate like my physical body right now. And I have abs, and this was not the case. I was severely bloated for about 5 years. It looked like I was pregnant, and I'm a small little person. So to have a really big belly, and I love crop tops, okay? Like I would still wear crop tops. And I was super bloated, and I was always sucking in. So I had major anxiety. Until I discovered Kachava. Has anyone ever heard of Kachava? Yeah, okay, it's probably because I talk about it all the time. So if you're sick and you have issues, you are just obsessed with trying to figure out what's wrong. So I was the supplement slut, I called myself. I had the greens, the probiotics, the fiber. I put everything together in one cup. That's what I did. And it took forever and whatever, until I discovered Kachava. And Kachava is like an all-in-one supplement whole meal. So this morning I had my Kachava in my matcha flavor. I added some vanilla, a little bit of oat milk and water, and shook it all up, and I had it. And it has my proteins, it has my prebiotics, probiotics, everything. And it's just amazing, and I love it, and I just want everyone to drink Kachava and have abs. Thank you. My goal was to take you guys on an emotional roller coaster. And get my Kachava link for half off.
For sure. Okay, so how do you know that you've taken people on an emotional roller coaster? Just curious. How would I know, how would you know that as an input?
How would I know if I did that?
Yeah.
If I started feeling emotional.
Is that your answer? That's fine, I'm just curious.
I mean, like seeing their facial expressions.
Okay.
And like feeling their energy and like the presence of their connections.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I ask because it's kind of an output, so I like don't necessarily know like what to coach you with, right? Like I can't like be like, did you all go on an emotional journey? It doesn't really matter what they think right now.
Well, it was more like I wanted to bring emotion into the story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you wanted to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it. You wanted to be vulnerable in front of people. Yeah. Great. Okay. Did you achieve that?
Yes.
Yeah. How did that?
First of all, bragging about my body and talking about how bloated I was. Yeah, I mean, my heart was beating the whole time.
Yeah.
Like right before I got on, it was like, I really feel.
Okay.
Still feel.
Okay, cool. So you wanted to be vulnerable with people. Which element would you say is the most vulnerable?
I don't know, maybe
Earth and water.
Earth and water, yeah.
So let's play with a little bit more earth and water.
What was I? Mostly fire.
Yeah, you got so much fire. I love it. I know that's what I love about you, right? And let's bring some of that water in. Beautiful. Yeah, just like 15 seconds or so.
No, sometimes I would literally leave a party because I felt so insecure about how I looked. And yeah, one time one of my best friends saw a photo of me and I thought I looked so cute and I was about to share it. And she was like, "Oh, you look really fat." And I didn't realize that stuck with me. And after that, I just developed an eating disorder. And and I healed it. With Kachava.
Do you see how the first one was like you're telling us about something and just now you showed us what your emotional experience was going through that. Yeah, that was really beautiful. Thank you for going there. Yeah. That's different. Yeah. Well done. Thanks. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Would you like to go next, my friend?
Sure. Yeah, I don't know if I can follow that out. But,
I'll give you a hand for 5 seconds.
oh, okay. Thanks. Okay, sweet. Thanks everyone for coming down here tonight. So my name is Arthur, and this morning was actually less of a morning. I got up at 11:30 p.m. I have insomnia. I was coding at 2 in the morning last night. It was great. And I got up, I got dressed, got ready, headed out, grabbed a sandwich at Schlotsky's as I was calling someone on the phone. I headed down to the office and then started trying to connect people together. And yeah, I was just munching on that for about half an hour-ish. It was pretty delicious. Would have rather cooked something myself, but you know, I don't always have the time. And I appreciate everyone for taking the time to come out here tonight, and thank you for joining me. Good.
Yeah, what was your goal?
My goal was to stay focused on filler and to like project out a story in kind of a relatable way. Yeah.
Absolutely. You definitely did. You also projected your voice.
Yeah.
And I understood everything you said. And so that's great.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm using so much tonight. I apologize. What do I want to? Are you open to playing with 5 elements?
Sure.
Yay! Okay, tell a story again. You're gonna start with fire.
Start with fire. This morning, I got up and I got out of bed late. And I got out of bed at 11:30 p.m. in the morning. And I was just like heading along the road to Schlotsky's, and I picked up a sandwich. And I was like, this is the best sandwich. I really love this sandwich. I'm going to go down to the office building and I'm going to get some very important work done today. And so I headed down there. And then I went and I talked to some of my coworkers, and I started connecting people and just building relationships. And all of these people, they needed to be together. Thank you so much.
Good job. That was awesome. Thanks for playing, guys. This is really all about how much you play. This is a co-creation class. Class sucks if like nobody wants to play, right? What was really, I imagine it was because you were like thinking about what you were doing. But when you look forward, your presence opens up. So you have a really strong presence. Be aware that if you decide to close it, it will close. If you decide to open it, huzzah! It will be open. And we all just experienced that. And you're all nodding your head, so I'm guessing you saw that too. Okay, you want to go next? Enjoy.
All right, I'm not blowing anybody out here, am I? It's the right distance? Okay. So let me tell you how to make the best breakfast ever. Okay, so what you do is you start with eggs. Every breakfast got to start with eggs, right? And then once you have the eggs, you go in the refrigerator and you find all your leftovers, whatever they are. Doesn't matter what it is. You chop them all up real good, you throw them in, you kind of do like a scramble, and you eat it. The bad thing is if anybody ever asks you for the recipe, you can't give it to them. Thank you very much.
Are you from Texas?
Yes.
I love your cadence. Your cadence is very enjoyable. That's one reason I always loved Texas, even before I lived here. What was your goal?
To be honest, I didn't really have one. I was
Okay.
gonna try to relate the best breakfast.
What was successful for you about that?
I don't know, made people smile a little bit, and I thought that was good.
What was successful about what you did, not having to do with the audience? I know they're important. I know, but not.
Talking in a microphone is always kind of hard for me.
Cool. You did a great job with that.
Because I always seem to blast people out, so I was like trying to be like, okay.
Cool. Great. You took that first second to test. Where is your microphone? How hot is it? That's totally valued. You also gave yourself a minute to ground yourself and get into it. Take it. Take the damn second. At the Westlake Chamber that I go to, he heard about me from somebody from the Westlake Chamber of Commerce. I hate those things because they all need me to give a 5-minute introduction to get them out of their boring ways of talking about what they do.
You have to
Right.
get to be happy at the social.
I
It's a
do.
lesson.
It's,
Yeah, the social
it's
will
even
do
more awkward. It's just, they're just.
Because there's alcohol.
They're the ones that serve alcohol.
They, you know, you'd think it'd be less awkward. You'd think. No, but it's about, but my thing is not like necessarily people who interact with each other. It's how to get up on stage and speak your pitch, right? And most people go right up and they turn around and they feel weird and then they do it. And I'm like, you can take your second. No one's starting the clock. They say 30 seconds, but no one's starting the clock. Take your second, and you did, and that was really great. Awesome. Also notice that I didn't ask him, what would you improve on? Which sometimes I do. I asked what went well, what was successful. So train yourself to look at your successes, not just what to look at next. I know I need that lesson for myself too, guys. I need that lesson. Today I'm like, let's count wins. Let's count wins. Let's recognize that there are wins. Okay. Cool.
Well, and one thing in a setting like the chamber,
Yeah.
I usually try to find my, whatever you call that, you know, your piece for a second when the person next to you gets up.
Yeah.
Because you know you're going to have to do it, and you're not going to have time to stand up there and go, hold on a second. All right.
Yeah.
So just find it when you're still sitting there or right before it's going to be your turn, right?
And I hum.
Yeah.
I hum while they're very sitting really softly.
If I hum, it means that my food is really good.
People are doing that too. All right. Okay. Cool. You did have a review, but you're already off the stage. Should I come up, Rich? Oh, I just skipped you, Haley. You're next.
No, I'm volunteering.
Okay.
Hello? In the next 60 seconds, I'm going to inspire you to shop at the HEB bakery section. All right? I need a raise of hand. Who's had the tortilla chips at HEB? What about the bread? Maybe the sourdough? What about the bagels? Anybody had the bagels? Well, that's what I had this morning for breakfast. Jalapeno cheddar bagel. Every day. I've bought 6 bags in the last month. I know because my boyfriend keeps track of the credit card. And here's the thing about HEB. You walk in, you get the produce on this side, the cake's on this side. If you walk a little bit further, there's a teeny tiny little shelf with the chips. On the right, there's the bagels. And I need you to grab these jalapeno cheddar bagels. You don't know me, and I don't know you. I don't know your taste, but if there's one thing you can do to know yourself better is know if you like those bagels, okay? I'm going to describe you this bagel. It's not like your Thomas or your Wonder Bread. It is handmade by the ladies in the back, someone's mom, someone's grandma. Someone made this with their love, sweat, and tears. And you can taste that. You can taste every crumb of that love in this bagel. So do me a favor, enjoy this full bagel with real jalapenos, real cheddar. Pop that in your toaster, let it get all warm and crispy, and show yourself some love, just like the ladies in the back did when they made it all together. If I haven't convinced you to buy these jalapeno and cheddar bagels, that's okay. That means there's more for me. Thank you. Can we stay up here? My goal was to inspire you to go try these bagels because they're that damn good.
That's great. And how would you know that worked? What's your input for that?
I suppose I just have to trust that they're gonna go get the bagels.
Well, what you did a really good job was using all of your voices. That was really awesome. So it was really cool. Like you would come over here and use this over here, and then come over here and use it over there. So I was really engaged in your storytelling, and it took me on the journey with you, which I really loved. You're so charming. You're so charming. So that is really great. I mean, you did inspire me to go get bagels, and I felt like you're the story spine within that. So how do you do that? It's like your story spine was in that. For you, my dear, the next thing, if I may.
Yes.
Yes. Is you do collapse on yourself a little bit when you talk. So how can we bring, like Dr. Rose will support that. We go to the same chiropractor. which I just came from. So I'm like, Dr. Rose, if you haven't been to Happiness Chiropractic, highly recommend. She's changed my life. Absolutely love that woman. Shout out, Dr. Rose.
She's not watching.
She's not watching. She's never been to any of my workshops. I've invited her. What? Oh my God, it's like seeing a teacher in a while, right? So bringing your heart out.
Oh, my biggest fear.
Right? So I felt that collapse a few times, and your knees kind of came in with that.
Okay.
So noticing that your body can be open and seen. So for you practicing, it'll be practicing with your hands open. Yeah. Yeah. Just one hand open. Just practicing with that. So just start.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah, I just want to see you talk with it because it's harder to do those two things at once.
Okay. Bagels.
You start to keep talking.
This helps. Okay. Believe it or not, I used to be a bagel connoisseur, and my favorite was blueberry. And what got me onto the savory bagel journey was that I was tired of paying $12 for a bagel at the Brew and Brew down the street. And I was thinking, man, surely there's a way that I could make my own bagels taste just as good as the Brew and Brew. And so then I went on a big bagel journey, and that led me to the bakery section at HEB, where I found my one true love, the jalapeno bagels.
Awesome. Cool. What felt different for you?
It feels so forced. So I will have to practice. And I'm like, my mouth like shaking. It's very challenging for me to lead with my heart. And that'll be an interesting, fun challenge. But I don't think I'm aware, I don't think I was aware that I was like,
Just in moments. I mean, if there's
small moments.
small moments, allowing yourself to be open. I'm not saying go on stage and be here forever.
Yeah, how do you,
I
I want to take up this space, but how do I do that without like turning my back? Like I want to,
All right, let's come right here, right here. I take up space. Yeah. Do it. Ready? 3, 2, 1. I take up space. Bend your voice to a specific. You've seen me do this. Remember, you see me doing
I
hundreds of people without it. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. I take up space. Woo! Feel. Yep, it is kind of awkward. Letting yourself be seen by people. And that is what we will work on. Great job. Good job. Who is next? Well, next we only have 1, 2, 3. Cool. Perfect.
Test, test. So I'm here to talk about what I had for breakfast. And breakfast is the most important meal of the day. That was propaganda by the godfather of marketing called Edward Bernays. If you ever speak to a marketing expert that doesn't know who Edward Bernays is, turn around and run, make sure, and take your money with you. So for breakfast, I keep things simple. Every day, 4 HEB jumbo eggs, usually the organic. I put it in a cast iron skillet, turn the burner on 2, throw in a slab of European butter, unsalted, and cook the eggs. If you ever burn eggs, it's too high, too hot. And the key to a cast iron pan or skillet is not to season it, but to make sure it's dry. And you want to keep the eggs under 185 degrees because they burn at that point. Protein burns. And then once it's soft scrambled, put on a little Celtic salt, just a pinch. It's the best salt for you. It's not the iodized crap that you get like Morton's. But the best salt is Celtic because it has 92 trace minerals, supposed to be all that good stuff for your body. And I eat the same thing every morning because I like routine. And people make breakfast complicated. They'll go and get all this frou-frou stuff, or they'll say they're a connoisseur where they press 5 minutes start on the microwave and, they're Julia Childs. But the important thing to breakfast is make sure that you eat it because, as Renee did in his propaganda, it is important. It's the most important meal of the day. Thank you.
Fellow conspiracy Started my stand-up. Cool. You just got up here and educated.
The goal was to talk.
Yes, okay, cool. I would like for you to play with your voices. Cool. Start with Earth, you're so good at it.
That one stutters, so
What?
my earth voice.
It stutters? What do you mean?
Well, it's inside my head, it stutters, so.
And
The voices in my head stutter.
That's fun. They've got quite the personalities. Well, let's see what happens if they leave your head and leave your mouth.
Sounds good.
All right,
So the earth voice is,
what you're doing right now.
okay. So you want me to play with the voice that I already have?
Just start talking. Start talking about Edward Bernays. Tell us about Edward Bernays, his all the eggs.
Oh, Edward Bernays, he is the double nephew of Sigmund Freud.
Yes, there.
And Sigmund Freud was need some healing. Sigmund Freud was a washed up hermit strung out on heroin or cocaine when Uncle Siggy, who Edward Bernays used to call him, went ahead and said, we're going to make the psychology stuff really exciting.
Okay, stop you now. I love this stuff. I'm so into it. We're on the same page, so for sure. This is why I do what I do, because the music is all tuned to 440 hertz, and it's my life goal to make it back to 538. But that's another conversation. Go to watch my freaking YouTube channel. That's what we're doing here, friends.
She needs more views.
I do. Well, it's just starting. It's just starting. But no, it's like this is the truth. Where our voices have been put into a certain tuning for a certain reason to make us more susceptible to brainwashing. That's what's happening. So I'm literally doing my best to retune your voices so that you think for your freaking selves again. Like that's the point. So thanks for bringing that up. You're gonna hold this, not me. And we're gonna play a little bit with different voices. Hello.
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 This is my air voice.
This is my air voice.
That's your air voice. That's a more authentic air voice.
But I like Julie Travis.
You're going to inspire people. No, I'm going to inspire you. Say that.
You're going to inspire me.
Inspire people. I'm going to tell you a story.
I'm going to tell you a story.
Yeah, so that's your air voice.
Okay.
Versus like, I have something to say for your earth voice.
I have something to say.
So that's subtle. I'm doing this because for you it's going to be different from me. And so like just supporting you in finding it. But your fire voice is what I'd like to hear. I have news.
I have news. Listen.
There you go. It might sound fitting.
No. I understand.
Yeah.
I just
Don't want to do it.
don't get excited about breakfast. It's like,
Yes.
breakfast is the most important meal of the day. I mean, it's like,
Yes. I'm going to teach you about the truth behind marketing in this country.
please do.
Add one egg in our baking is a lie to keep women happy in the kitchen. That's,
Where's the rightful place is.
I'm a, no, now I'm like ready to give you less. We only have a few minutes. I just wanted to hear you play with the fire and like getting excited and bringing excitement to the room. But great job. You're also very funny, very very dry. You and my partner would get along just great. Would you like to go next? And then you close us out. Perfect. Enjoy. Pick a goal.
Hello, everyone. So today I'm going to tell you a little story about my breakfast. Actually, I've landed in Texas on Friday, came from London, and today was actually my first time I actually had a breakfast here. I didn't eat at all yesterday. My voice just gone yesterday completely, and I thought I need to find myself something to do. So I booked myself for this event, and I was like, this is going to be hilarious because I'm going to go see a bunch of Americans who are really good at speaking, and me being very awkward and trying to learn how to speak is going to be terrible. So this morning, eating my breakfast at a hotel, I picked up some fruit, some pancake with a Nutella, and I was like, well, this is better than what my husband was saying, that the breakfast's not very nice. But when I've looked at the bacon and the eggs, that was not appetizing, but he doesn't really eat fruit and stuff like that. So I was eating my breakfast and thinking about how this is going to be awkward tonight. So, thank you.
Okay, how's that feel?
All right.
All right, okay, you survived, right?
Yeah.
Often it's like, you didn't die, okay? That's the first step, right? You're alive, that was great. Okay, so what was your goal?
To make it entertaining.
Okay, once again, that is the goal that's out of your control. It's a goal that's out of your control. May I offer you a different one that's similar? To play. Because if you play, people will be entertained. When I try to be funny, I'm not funny. When I try to be funny, I'm not funny. When I just be myself and play, I'm funny and people laugh. But when I try to be funny, I'm not funny. So focusing on, okay, what if I play? What if I get to be safe in my body? And that will naturally be entertaining. Okay? Is that okay? Just give you that little mindset shift, right? Rather than trying to be something for other people. Okay, can I hear you siren a little bit? Woo!
Ooh.
Yeah, they want you to succeed. They really want you to succeed. Your audience, a fun fact, your audience really wants you to win. They really want you to win. They don't want you to fail, right? Because then their biggest nerve is uncomfortable. So they want you to win. So, all right. Woo!
Ooh.
Yeah. Woo!
Ooh.
I can play.
I can play.
I can play.
I can play.
I'm safe to play.
I'm safe to play.
I won't hurt your voice too much. It sounds like it's just a little bit tired. For your voice, I invite you to just do hooty sounds. Speak in this higher Julia Child voice, because if your voice is tired lower, that means that it's swollen at the thicker folds. So speaking up here will help a little bit. Not quite. Can you do this? Hello.
Hello.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. It's all right. I'm not gonna put any more trauma on your voice, but great job. Thanks for playing. Yeah. Hey, keep trying. All right. How long are you here for?
Till Monday or
You're only
Sunday.
here for a few days. Do you go to any open mics?
No.
I invite you to just put yourself in places where you can get
I do a lot of
try.
training and talking to my employees and people, but not really on stage. It's mostly in the meeting rooms and stuff.
Okay. Cool. So then next time you're speaking to your employees, what's one thing you can do that would be different and growth oriented for them? Whether tell a story or try various voices or something like that. You don't necessarily have to answer, but I just invite you to implement what we did here into what you do with your employees, so that that it's relevant for you. That sound good? Are you open to it? Okay, cool. Thanks for playing. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here. All right, one more, and then I'm gonna get us kicked out. So.
What are you supposed to hum?
Whatever you need to tune in.
Okay. So Sunday morning, I woke up very excited because I was going to go to my favorite store, Trader Joe's. When I got there, I noticed there was no eggs, only a few little broken shelled eggs, which I was really disappointed about because I love eggs in the morning. So with that said, I went to my second favorite store, Costco. And at Costco, I find these pre-made protein oats, and I just have to add water and put it in the fridge. And that is now my new favorite breakfast. I add some protein powder to it because I work out before the sun comes up. So now I have just as a fulfilling breakfast without having to buy really expensive eggs. Thank you.
All right, what was your goal for yourself?
To really think about what I was saying instead of just going on autopilot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you succeed?
A little bit. Sometimes I have a hard time, especially on the spot, tying things together.
Cool. So one way that makes it easier is planting your feet.
Yeah.
It's harder for me. I dance a little bit, but I also that, and I haven't decided that I want to make that a goal yet. To plant my feet, but I imagine it could help feeling grounded.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to try a little bit?
Okay, yeah.
It's up to you. I mean, we're pretty much out of time anyway.
Sure.
But I like to give everyone
Okay.
and breathe.
I know. That's one of my, okay. So I wake up Sunday morning excited to go to my favorite store, Trader Joe's. I went there to go get eggs, only to find that they were sold out, or that there's just a few broken shells in some of the boxes. So I head off to my second favorite store, which is Costco, where I find a good surprise of oats where I just have to add a little bit of water. It makes it super easy, and then I add my own protein powder to make it savory. Okay.
Your voice carried a lot more. Your presence was bigger.
Okay.
And like, even though, I mean, we do this too, like we all do, where we kind of shuffle a little bit. That's okay. It didn't bother me.
Okay.
Like, you had
Was I
a bigger presence.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that was awesome. Did anybody else see that? Can you see the subtleties? Can you see how these subtle shifts really make a difference for people? And how on stage you might be like, oh my God, this is so big and so uncomfortable. We're like, it's not, it works. It's not as huge as we think, but it does make a big difference.
On the first time she went 4 or 5 times, she crossed over.
Yeah.
She really did it the last time.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
Good to know. Okay.
Great job, and keep playing with
Thanks.
that for your presentations. Put that story spine in,
Yeah.
and you'll be great.
Yeah. Sometimes I just gotta blink out.
Breathe,
So,
breathe.
Yeah.
If I have some of my clients write breathe on a sticky note and put it on their computer, because if you do anything or if you do nothing else, breathe. Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay. Beautiful. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight and being our small but mighty crowd. I really appreciate it. This class means so much to me. I've been doing it since 8/8/2022, and it's been a really transformational growth experience for me as a teacher and as a human being, because I'm only as good of a teacher as many people as I work with. So you are what makes this so great. I appreciate if you could tell people about it, if you could share it. If you would leave a Google review, some of your business owners and understand the importance of it. And then my link tree is all the way on the left, and that will have all my links, my LinkedIn, my Instagram, my YouTube, and it also has my course, which is called The Voice of Authority, where it's a 21-day audio course that you can do from your car. It's only $97, and you listen to it every day, you sing along to it, and then there will be things for you to speak to as well. So we'll talk about melodic patterns and how they play a role, how to get out of monomelody, how to apply it to if you want to sing, to singing, or how, if you're giving a speech, how to apply it to speech. And we do that with a little bit of Shakespeare. And the vocal exercises are the best exercises you can do to strengthen your voice. So I put a lot of time and effort and insanity into completing that. These two are helping me get the other parts of it. Right now, it's on Dropbox. It will be switching to Kajabi. Everybody will be migrated over naturally, and you'll get an email if you want to go for that. And just stay tuned to what's happening on my YouTube channel, because I have videos, lessons, all of this, this is my life's work in action. So thanks for coming. And if you have any questions, I'll be here. We do need to be out of this room completely in 5 minutes, so we can chat outside. And then if you do need a parking ticket, then this will help you validate your parking for $8. So thank you for coming tonight. Thank you. And let's take a photo. I did forget. I wrote picture time and I forgot. So would you guys mind taking a photo with me, because I never do it and always forget? Oh, my phone's dead, which we knew would happen.